Um, well, I think that bond, that relationship between Prince and Bambi was one of the crucial pillars that Echo 3 rests on, and it was important for me that we built that relationship. But thank God it was very easy to do that with Luke, because he's not only an amazing actor but also a great guy
and amazing singer. How annoying.
Yeah,
Stop it, guys.
That too. So he could lighten the mood just like that by, going into song. But truly, it was an honor to build that relationship on screen and off screen with Luke.
First of all, I want to say, wow, what a project to be involved in. I'm going to start with you, Jessica. This is an incredible role. I mean, you get us going in a big way with this series. Can you talk about what you found with this amazing character? She's tough and she survives a lot. This is an incredible work. How did you get involved, and what was it like working with these guys?
Honestly, with the character, I feel like I won some sort of career lottery, and I don't take that for granted at all. And I wanted to do justice to that. And what I loved most of all was the willingness of the filmmakers to also want to portray a complex female. And there was just so much allowance for a range of possibility within those choices. And so I was able to show so many faces, and also the character herself is so layered. There are so many secrets on secrets on secrets that at a certain point, I feel like you have a person that's almost an enigma to herself. And so I wanted to sort of craft this enigma that then goes through a trauma experience and is sort of like dismantled, maybe is that too complex? But
No.
Okay.
No, not at all. It makes sense.
Yeah, so it felt like this the type of opportunity I dreamed about, in drama school, honestly. And so I keep reminding myself of that, and hopefully I did justice and that work translates, and she is a compelling character. It's my hope. My brother and my husband are in special forces.
I know how these decisions are made. They won't approve a raid. We have to get her out.
I guess we should cancel dinner.
Okay, so Luke and Michiel, well, for you guys have a delicate balance. You guys have to play these characters that are kind of deal with each other in a huge way. Can you talk about approaching these two and playing in that world?
Well, I think that bond, that relationship between Prince and Bambi was one of the crucial pillars that Echo 3 rests on, and it was important for me that we built that relationship. But thank God it was very easy to do that with Luke, because he's not only an amazing actor but also a great guy and
amazing singer. How annoying.
Yeah,
Stop it, guys.
That too. So he could lighten the mood just like that by, going into song. But truly, it was an honor to build that relationship on screen and off screen with Luke.
It was one hell of a journey. One hell of a journey for us all to go on, and to do it with a partner, who's going on the same journey, and we both have the same objective. Was very, very enjoyable, experiencing each step together through the process, and seeing how our characters would deal with each moment was very fun. It was very enjoyable to observe and to be part of.
Do you remember in the beginning how our one of our military advisors would give us homework every day in the few weeks of prep that we had, which was not a lot of time to build that relationship, right? But it included things like watching Black Hawk Down together and stuff. That was a nice,
Yeah,
that was
that
a nice one.
That was an afternoon.
That
Yeah,
was a great afternoon.
you didn't have enough beers though.
I
That's
wasn't
cool.
invited. I'm upset.
That's not fair.
No, this is about
Yeah, this is
our little special forces thing.
Very cool. Well, Luke, I want to know what songs you broke into. That's kind of fun.
Anything and anything that triggered a song, I would sing it. And on a film set, there's plenty of words that are used regularly that trigger me into some kind of musical outburst. But no, I mean, I'm a singer, so I would often break a very late, long night shoot in the jungle with some kind of song and just make everybody laugh. It was part of my Delta Force requirements as Bambi to just entertain people every now and again.
My name is Amber Chesborough, and I'm being held against my will in Venezuela.
There's so much room. Obviously, I haven't seen all the episodes. I wasn't allowed to. What are you most excited about, like where the series is going? Obviously, without giving spoilers, where are you guys most excited for each of you? Starting with you, Jessica.
Yeah, I think what I love most is how unexpected it continues to be, and how realistic it continues to be throughout, and how the world just continues to open up in unexpected ways, while remaining just as dense and just as epic and just as loaded throughout. I think that must have been such a feat.
Yeah.
And
I agree with you, Jesse. And also, as the story progresses, it seems to get bigger and more complicated, and more political even. And I don't think it quite ends the way people would expect.
You want answers?
She's his wife. She's my sister. We're desperate for something.
You better go down there. Take care of your sister.
We don't need money. This is political stuff. Don't worry about it.
The kinds of incredible work you've been involved in, from Zero Dark 30 to Hurt Locker. What was the appeal of taking such a huge story like Echo 3 and bringing it to the small screen in such an epic but personal way?
Yeah, thanks for saying that. I mean, the biggest thing was the time you get, the 10 hours. The small screen is a little bit of, I mean, I'm going to see the show projected tonight, because we're doing a premiere, which will probably be the only time it's ever been projected or ever will be projected. But we shot it like a movie. I mean, we used the very best prime lenses, the very best cinematographers we could hire, the most like kind of offbeat composition and lighting sort of ideas and color LUTs and everything that we could really, that what you would do typically in a movie. And then I think if somebody has like an amazing TV, that'll probably come across, which a lot of TVs are amazing these days. But the biggest thing wasn't that, it was more the time. And for 10 hours as opposed to 2, what you get in that trade-off of going to a smaller screen is you get more time to narratively populate a world than you probably would have in 2 hours. And so I really like the idea of telling a story where the world keeps expanding and you keep meeting new people, because it allows you to kind of capture a little more complexity, and instead of making just like a handful of characters having all the agency in a story, which inevitably gets a little bit reductive, you get to kind of like breathe, let the story breathe. And so that was the biggest thing. And it was thrilling to be able to use Spanish language, and actually go on the flip side of the story and not just look at what the protagonists are doing, but look at what the people who are involved in the kidnapping and how they feel about it and what their interior lives are like. And that's all due to the luxury of time. So that was really what I, having done a a bunch of movies, and kind of looking over at my sisters and brothers in TV and scratching my head and thinking about, yeah, what would I do with that extra kind of narrative road?
You did nothing wrong. We're gonna find a way out of this.
Well, it's really interesting too, because you do get that sense of you feel these characters. You really kind of connect to them, especially these three. And what a hell of a beginning. How did you decide to kind of tell the story narratively? It's such a unique way. It works really well for the show.
I don't know how far you got in. I mean, the beginning, the pilots are always hard because you're trying to introduce. There's a lot of introductions, which are not inherently interesting usually. Although, they used to be done a lot more. I mean, if you think about movies like The Godfather or Deer Hunter, you have these long introductory kind of passages in the beginning of the movie where you're just basically walking around a party meeting people. So my hope was that there was some like audience interest in a little bit of, not to say the storytelling is really 70s, but a little bit of a throwback in terms of, hey, give me a second to set up a fairly complex world here with some interesting, maybe people who you've never met before, SF guys who can be partying one night and the next morning they're on a helicopter on their way into a combat mission, a scientist who's researching bioactive psychedelics, and then the circumstances of the plot start intruding on their life and shit goes down. So that was kind of the narrative strategy of the pilot. And then we thought of each episode as kind of being its own sui generis story that links up to the overall, the big arc, but each episode is kind of its own movie in a way. Both in terms of how it's shot and kind of how the plot tick-tocks along. So that was sort of what we were trying to do. And hopefully that adds up to something that's like really is cohesive, but also like in each individual bite size of it feels pretty satisfying. Cause I never like those. Sometimes in TV shows, I've noticed there are those like burner episodes where you feel like people just sort of, and I get it, cause it's super hard to keep coming up with material, but we tried to make each hour feel like a movie.